this would be a guided meditation in the practice of just sitting, or it's also known sometimes as choiceless awareness, or Shinzen Young calls it do nothing. And before I guide the meditation, I wanted to give some context of what this type of meditation is. To break it down simply, mindfulness practice is a lot of times taught by bringing focus to something, whether that be bringing focus and concentration to breath or sounds or sights or taste. Basically, anything that we can receive through the five senses, and then also what we might feel emotionally or thoughts that happen. Bringing attention to any one of these things. And if we concentrate on one specific thing, that's considered a mindfulness practice. What just sitting is, or doing nothing, is not choosing one specific thing. It's sort of letting the awareness receive whatever comes up. It can be very easy to try to make sense of all of this stuff, and I don't know, it may even be happening that as I'm speaking of this, you may be trying to make sense of it in the mind, the way that you tried to make sense of a lesson that a teacher taught you in class, and trying to put things together in your mind to make sense of it and learn it and then know it. But in mindfulness and in this sitting practice of just sitting or doing nothing, it's a much different type of learning, and the best way to learn is to experience it. So I'll guide the sitting meditation practice, or what you might call just sitting, and see if you can try not to make so much sense of it, and more so just follow the guide, almost like you're sitting on a float going down a river, and you're just going where the river takes you. You're not trying to make too much sense of where you're going to end up. So with that orientation, you can find a comfortable position in your home or your office or wherever you are, and try to see if you can set aside time where this will be quiet and you won't be distracted. Find an upright but not uptight posture. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable, or leave them open. And just being aware of what's here in your experience. I'll label some things that may potentially be occurring. Sounds, hearing the sounds, breathing, sensing the breath, the body, sensing what's happening in the body, the air on the skin. Thoughts may be happening, feelings. So there's all these things occurring in the experience. And in just sitting, we're not choosing anything specifically to focus on. We're just being with whatever arises, wherever the awareness chooses to go, let it go. mentioned that Shinzen Young calls this practice do nothing. I think it's a beautiful way of describing it because it's so accurate. There's nothing to do in the practice, just being. Wherever you are, be there, and that's it. Not being in opposition to anything that arises. Allowing everything to be exactly how it is. Nothing needs to be changed. Nothing at all. Not even your thoughts. Adyashanti calls this a directionless invitation. A directionless invitation. It's like inviting yourself to be here with no direction. And to experience whatever is here to be experienced. Without trying to change anything. Like floating down a river on a tube. just wherever it goes. It's okay. The same thing. Wherever the attention or awareness goes. Not being opposed. So in a moment, we'll end the formal practice, and it will be the end of this podcast and formal guided sitting practice. But knowing that this directionless invitation, this open awareness, choiceless awareness, is available to you in any moment. And it may be helpful if you find yourself struggling with what to pay attention to. If the mind happens to be going all over the place, either focusing on work or things at home, or even in your mindfulness or meditation practice itself, not knowing what to focus on, it may be helpful to use this practice of not focusing on anything in particular and letting yourself rest in this pure awareness, this open invitation of what happens. For me, it's been a nice tool when I get very tense, and specifically in my mindfulness practice, when I'm wondering, should I be focusing on breath today, or sounds today, or sights today? It's been helpful to just, when that starts coming up, that thought, just rest in open awareness. Let myself kind of balance out. So when I find myself trying to figure out what is it that I should be focusing on, it's like maybe I'll rest in this non-focusing on anything specific. So you can try it. And thank you for listening. I appreciate your time, and I'm very grateful towards you for listening. And I'll see you next time.